What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It is Nikki, and if you are new, this is Life with Nick. If you are returning, thank you so much for watching and continue to support me. So, as you guys see in the title below, I am here with a part 2 of Dating in Atlanta edition. So, I've done one of these already, obviously. Go ahead and check that out if you guys have yet to see it. So, in today's video, I'm just going to talk about my experience of dating. As you guys know, I have been single for like the last 4 months. Go ahead and check that video out too on my 4-year breakup update. So, I'm here today to talk about what it is like to date in Atlanta. It's giving very ghetto. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But before we get into anything, if you guys have yet to subscribe, go ahead and do so. Turn on that notification bell so that you're notified when I post. Check out some of my other videos and let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, so when it comes to dating in Atlanta, this isn't a video to like bash Atlanta men specifically, because for my experience dating in Atlanta so far is I've noticed that there's a lot of men that come from different places. So there's a lot of men that I meet aren't from Atlanta. A lot of the men that I meet maybe from other countries, or they may be from like a different state. Like New York is really common down here. Mississippi is really common, and so is California. So you know, a lot of the men that I have met personally are not even from here or not born and raised here. They may have just moved here as a kid or just as an adult or whatever it is. So this is the tip number 1 that I'm going to give you guys. And this is just in general. This isn't like just a Georgia thing. Watch out for men that are in relationships. Men on social media have become just increasingly bold. And I'm not going to say I blame social media for that, because obviously they're men. They can control what they're doing. But there are a lot of taken men out there that you would think are 100% single off their Instagram and their social media. And I'm not trying to say that you have to be in a relationship and you're posting your man all over social media. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that watch out when you're living here in Georgia. Watch out and look for the signs to see if somebody is in a relationship. So for example, is that person always asking to come over your house and they never want to go to your house, after the date or just to hang out? And you may ask them like, hey, why can't we go to your house? And they may come up with some kind of excuse. To me, that screams, I live with a woman. And that may not always be the case, because obviously people are out here living with their parents. People are out here living with their friends or whatever. They may not just like where they live. But I'm going to say take that as a red flag and just do a little bit more investigation. Just because a lot of men, and not even just in Georgia, a lot of men are in relationships and you would never know. Just because you go to a man's social media page and he does not have pictures of his girlfriend on there does not mean he doesn't have a girlfriend, okay? It's a word. It's a word. So watch out for that. That's definitely going to be my tip number 1. When you're dating someone, just be clear and open with them. Let them know, hey, you're giving me signs that you may be in a relationship. Are you single? I want to know. I'm not want to break up somebody's home. So just make sure that you are dating someone who is actually available. One thing I cannot stand is to see a woman date someone who is in a relationship. I feel like it's so tacky. So just be wary of that and just be cautious that there may be men out there who are trying to pursue you that may be in a relationship. I had one of my friends tell me that she met a guy and they were begging her to have a threesome with a girl. I'm like, oh my God, it's crazy down here in the dirty South. So just be wary of that. You don't want to be a third wheel. You don't want to be a side piece. Okay, so number 2, another thing to look for when you are dating in Atlanta is to look at a man's job. Oh God, I feel so shallow for saying that, because I'm not that kind of person who cares that much about like how much somebody makes or whatever like that. But just look out for whether or not a man has a job. I personally cannot date someone who scams. I know a few people that are okay with that because they see it as like money or whatever. And I can't date someone who, like me personally, who is like into like selling drugs or whatever. But just look out for that. If you are a woman and you're looking for a husband, if you're looking for someone that you want to take serious, ask them what they do for a living. You know what I mean? We're at an age now, and I feel like I try to not seem too shallow, but we're at an age now where it's okay to ask a man what he does for a living. Like, let's be for real. Like, where do you work? And I'm not trying to say you have to have a doctorate or a master's degree or hell, even a bachelor's degree. I'm not trying to say that you have to go to school and that you have to have the most money in the world or that you have to be your own boss, but at least have a job, a legal job. Like, come on now. Like, that's the least that you can expect out of a man. So that's one thing that I feel like you have to really watch out for, because there'll be times where in social media fools all like someone will follow me and they'll be like cute and I'm like, oh my gosh, like they look like they got it going on, you know what I mean? Like they look like they may bring in, they may have a nice little job, you know, they know how to dress. And then I'll start talking to them more and they'll scam or they'll try to put me on a scam. And I'm like, no, I don't look like a scammer. So just look out for that. I said that in my part 1 is just be wary of that. Because like I said, I'm in my late 20s, so I don't have time to play with somebody out here who is just out here scamming and selling drugs. Okay, it's just not about to happen for me personally. I know some people that are okay with it, maybe the younger crowd, but like I said, I'll be 27 in June, so that's just not my hype. So that's number 2 on the list. Just watch out, ask these men what kind of jobs that they have. Number 3 on the list, and something that I have came across a lot, is just dishonesty. I'm not trying to say that it's more common here in Atlanta. Men are dishonest everywhere or people are dishonest everywhere, and I'm just men. People are dishonest everywhere, but just look out for the little white lies that people tell. I feel like if somebody could tell a little white lie in the beginning of dating, then they're more likely to lie more throughout your relationship. So for example, if you want to date with a guy and that guy is sitting there and he's just talking about his life or whatever, he's talking about, okay, you know, like I live in Marietta and I have a house that I own, right? And I'll be like, okay, like, that's cool. It's cool. But then when it's time to go to this house, it's like always an excuse. It's like, do you even have a house? Or are you just lying to try to make yourself seem like, you know, like that you are more than what you are? Or if a guy's always standing you up or something like that, just look out for like the little red flags that you may come across in the beginning, because those are the most important things to me, the red flags that you see in the beginning. So if somebody is just a liar, just cut them out. I've come across that a lot here, where I meet someone and I'll be texting them or whatever, and we'll go out on a date and it's like, you're not at all who you said you were. Why did you have to lie? You know what I mean? Just be who you are in the end. So that would be number 3 on my list, is just to watch out for those little white lies, because I feel like it's easier down here for people to lie about their families, for example, and like, you know, what their lifestyles may have been like back home, just because obviously you're in a new state. You can be anybody who you want to be when you move across the country. So just take that into account. You know what I mean? Like, what is this person's life like back at home or whatever? Like, you know, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking. So number 4 on the list, dating in Atlanta, is keep your options open. I know me, I'm on a different journey, so I may just be speaking from experience right now. But just keep your options open. I notice a lot of people down here is like, and not just down here, just in general. You'll meet someone and you'll be like head over heels, like, oh my gosh, like I really like this person and I really connect with this person. So you'll cut off everybody else that you're talking to for that person. And then a week later, you're sitting there looking dumb because that person isn't giving you 100% what you need. So keep your options open. I'm not trying to say like just be out here just giving the draws to anybody, but it's okay to date. It's okay to go out on different dates. There's so much stuff to do here, y'all. You know what I mean? So many people to meet. So it's okay to keep your options open. If you're freshly single and you want to go out with a dude on Wednesday and go out with a different dude on Friday, go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? Just as long as you're being responsible. And that's going to be the next thing that I mentioned on my list. Just be responsible and just be cautious of your surroundings. So that's super important, because catfishing is a thing. It's still a thing. People are becoming more and more creative with the way that they scam people. And I am a true crime fanatic, so I see stuff like this all the time. So me, when I'm going out on my dates, I am extremely cautious. There's been times where I may have a taser in my purse, or, you know, I may have a pocket knife or whatever, like in my car, just in case, because you never know. People are crazy. You hear about people meeting people online and them being murdered all the time. And if you are, you know, if you're a woman as it is, you are obviously more prone to this just because, you know, you may be smaller, you may be less physically fit. So just make sure that you are protecting yourself at all times, because like I said, the last thing that you want to do is go on a date and end up in the back of somebody's van. Okay, you do not want to end up in the back of nobody's van. So keep your weapon on you at all times when you are going out on these dates. Okay, so last but not least on the list, we're going to talk about asking questions. Ask questions. Do not be afraid to ask these people questions when you are dating out here. Okay, so I used to be so scared of that. Like when I would first start dating somebody, or if I'm going on a date with someone, I wouldn't want to ask them things like, do you have kids? Or, you know, like, what do you do for a living? Like, because I was so scared, because I was like, okay, maybe I'm getting a little too deep. Maybe that's something that you want to save. Ask those questions. Save yourself some time, save your energy, and ask those questions. Okay. And it is okay to have standards. I've learned that so much. I feel like I used to feel so bad about, like, you know, like I said, asking those questions and being like an open book with people and letting people know what I wanted up front. That's important too. Let people know what you want up front. Be open and honest. Ask those questions, or else you're just going to live in this fantasy land. I feel like that's what a lot of people do in today's generation. I've done it. That was like my whole relationship, basically. Like you live in like this delusion where like you have like this fantasy idea of what a person should be like, instead of looking as to what they are actually like in reality. So make sure that you ask those questions. You're open and honest about what you want, because just because you want to get married and just because you want to have kids does not mean that the person that you're sitting across from the table on wants the same things. And they may tell you that, but you should be able to tell somebody's lying to you. So make sure that you're jumping into these relationships with people that want the same thing as you. You don't want to jump into the relationship with someone and they're like anti-kids, anti-marriage, and you just want a family someday. That's just not realistic. And that's been something that I've come across too when dating here. You know what I mean? It's just like the little lies that you hear people tell. Like, so for example, I went on a date with this guy and whatever, and I was like, okay, you know, like I checked his Hinge before I went on the date just to see. And then like, I think I was like in the car on on my way, and I had checked. It was like, don't want children. So I brought it up during the day. I was like, do you want children? And that's because I seen it on your Hinge profile that you don't want children. And he was like, oh no, you know, I'm open to that. I'm open to that. No, you're not. If you don't want children and you just want to smash me right now, and you just saying that you want to have children just to smash me, don't waste my time. So that, you know, I never talk to that person again after that. And that's okay. You know what I mean? It's okay to go on dates with people just one time and just decide that you don't want to talk to them again. As long as you're being open and clear and honest with your communication, I feel like that's all that matters. So let's go through this again, okay? When dating in Atlanta, watch out for the scammers. If you're trying to be taken serious, don't be out here 30 dating those scammers. Number 2 on the list is to ask questions in the beginning. You do not want to get yourself into a situationship. Number 3 on the list is to ask what that man does for a living. We'll see what that job description, that job title is. Number 4 on the list is to not put all your eggs into one basket until he is letting you know that he wants you to be his girlfriend. Until the moment he asks you to be his girlfriend, then don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's how you end up crying in your car. I've been there. I've cried in my car plenty of times. Don't be me. Don't end up crying in your car just because you thought that something was what you thought it was and it wasn't what you thought. Okay, so just look out for those things. I definitely want to do more dating edition videos on my channel. I have so many stories to tell you guys. You guys would not believe it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said in the beginning, if you guys have yet to do so, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Turn on that notification bell so that you're notified when I post. Check out some of my other videos, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.